At that moment, there was absolutely no time and actually no reason to go into emotions.
The only thing was clear that we didn't really know anything about what's going to happen.
2020 just gave us a chance to prove us in a very, very hard circumstances.
We realized that the year of 2020 will be completely different.
The outbreak of the worldwide pandemic was a great shock, of course, to all the event organizers.
Pandemia was under control in Estonia, but the neighbor countries and Europe, our main markets, were really suffering.
We had to adjust and adapt very quickly in this situation.
We can't just wait, and then we started to think different solutions, what we can do in coronavirus situation. All the Europe was in lockdown, but in Estonia we had a lot of international events.
Estonia was like an island, paradise island in all this mess. It was a really big miracle to make such a big and huge and international festival in the middle of the pandemic period.
We are able to take the crisis in a much different way. The focus is to organize the best events in the world. 2020 saw only 2 Ironman events. One was in Tallinn and one was in Florida.
The Baku store, the only Baku store that happened 2020.
WRC promoter made us an offer to organize the event only in 63 days. We had very strong belief, we had very strong vision and will to do it.
It is in our nature to go and start solving problems. So whenever you end up in a challenge, you kind of switch off emotions and feelings, and you really dive into very pragmatic mindset.
Honestly, it feels strange that we were not afraid, because after the event we understood how big was the responsibility.
Most of the Estonian big event organizers are fanatics. They really love what they do.
Estonia is very small, and you have access to decision makers. We have this saying in Estonia that even the Prime Minister is 2 phone calls away. And we don't fall into the trap of bureaucracy when fast decisions need to be made.
In a short period of time, many of the event organizers had to rethink and replan their conferences completely.
Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening to everyone around the world.
Most of them chose the hybrid format for their events, meaning that they had to organize simultaneously both on-site event for people who could gather and travel to Estonia, and also online event at the same time.
It was so creative period the whole last year, because we created very big things for the future of the festival. It was an online area.
Really quickly we kind of came to new novel solutions, how we can bring in the international guests by digital solutions. It was very fast that all of the organizers in Estonia started seeking for these new innovative ideas.
Hybrid event studios were set up in cooperation of many venues, technical companies and event planners. And very complex technical productions can be organized and staged in Estonia at a fraction of a cost that similar solution would cost in other countries.
People who follow us in their home, in Brazil, in South America, then they can feel it like they are also on site.
Many of these hybrid events took place because to guarantee the safety of their delegates was really the top priority of every organizer.
We can say that the Rally Estonia was one of the biggest events and sport events in the world. What happened during the coronavirus?
There were approximately 4,000 people from foreign countries. They had to do the test in their own country 72 hours before departure, and also they need to take a test when they arrive.
Testing possibility at Tallinn Airport was made available for foreign visitors so that they could reduce their quarantine period when arriving to Estonia.
I just had a text about my coronavirus test. And thankfully, it's a negative result, which means I can now go and have fun without any worry in Estonia.
Our race venue, where we had another testing protocol. We measured, say, temperature. We actually looked into the medical questionnaire, what they filled up before the race. And we actually asked everybody to come specific time. We had 2,000 athletes. It was made and planned in a way that it was constant flow.
The main things and main actions that were taken was choosing a venue that would allow social distancing and doing the venue setups in a form that connections between the delegates were minimized. Also, organizers avoided any paper material, and event materials were made available via conference apps. Disinfectants were available at the venues, including disinfection stations that Visit Estonia provided for many events. And also face masks, of course, were made available by the event organizers.
We had 26,000 unique spectators on site.
We invented quite many new solutions. Using Estonian IT knowledge, we decided to give everybody special chips, and we were dividing them in different groups, and we were not mixing different groups.
We minimized the risks, and that was the main target. The feedback from foreign people was very positive.
All our international guests who came to Estonia and visited our festival, it is even difficult to describe how happy they have been, because it was something what they didn't have in many months.
So many events, not only in Europe, but the rest of the world, are starting to get in touch with us to ask for advice. How is it possible to do events at a time like this? So we ended up being actually mentoring some of the event sector in the world.
It was incredible pressure in one way, because we did something nobody had experienced and had done it. After finishing without any complications afterwards, it was incredible relief.
We're quite proud that Tallinn Music Week in the midst of the pandemic became, in a way, like a beacon of hope and optimism.
This year's Rally Estonia was one of the best promotional events for Estonia. We reached almost 1 billion contacts.
The admission number last year, together with online, was more than 100,000. And what was really big surprising, it was press coverage, because we have been covered in 71 countries. Our possible online reach last year was 9.1 billion. So we are the winners.
The Estonians, they are like a maximalist, that when we are doing something and we know that it's like international event, then we like to show to everybody that we can make very high level event. Coronavirus can't be excuse.
It was really fantastic. We were really impressed how the whole team challenged the special condition.
Estonia, the safest way concept reflects the idea that in Estonia, the safety and COVID protection measures are taken into account everywhere, and visitors who come to our country can be sure that everything is done to secure their well-being. The safest way concept also is a two-way agreement, that we also expect that the visitors respect all the protection measures that are reflected to them and follow the guidelines and policies in different locations.
When it's possible to organize again a normal event to up to 10,000 people, then we are ready.
On top of that, Estonia is a very nice travel destination where beautiful cities, interesting culture and experiencing our untouched nature can top the event and business experience.